right, we're here. It's a beautiful day. I got some help. Come on in. This is my brother-in-law, Andy.
Hey.
He's the muscle around here. And we're gonna be putting together this Logosol B1001, straight from Sweden. I don't actually know too much about the sawmill. I've watched a few videos and we did travel to Sweden. If you don't know, we got some videos of the trip. And we did see this sawmill being demoed. But really, I'm a pretty much amateur, novice, arrogant, not arrogant, ignorant on what the sawmill can do. So this will be interesting building one. I've never actually put one together right from a crate. So let's just get to it. Let's get to it. Woo, shiny. Maybe you want to grab a picture, Andy? Get right up here. I'm on top of the world. Ah! Ankle fully recovered. Yeah. Be sitting on it like this. Potential thumbnail action. Hammer time? We're just gonna figure it out. We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. Put stuff in. Little muffler. Get you your weapon. I got the VISMOs on, at least I can walk on that, right? No, it's got like Teflon. Yeah. Oh yeah, that was right in there too. Very important. We just get rid of that. No, we're gonna need this one, I think. Okay, we got the initial plastic off, we got the crating off, we pulled out a bunch of boxes, looked at some cool parts. We know it all goes together, we just don't know how. We also have this main section, which is obviously fully assembled, so we gotta figure out, I guess we gotta sling it out of here as a suggestion by my brother-in-law, but we're gonna reference the owner's manual right now, so let's see what we got here. Assembly, rail frame. Maybe I'll try to go to the assembly of the rail frame, 26. See what that says. Assemble the rail frame, and you're done. Sweet, it's easy, right? Requires a few nuts and bolts and washers, but order of assembly, yeah, okay, cool. All right, so the main part of the sawmill was bolted down to the skid, and we found some mounting holes on the top. We got a chain attached. We're gonna pull it off of the bottom crate with the tractor. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, exactly. Right here. Assembling the rail frame, which I'm assuming is all this. 2 sawhorses in it.
Being organized is key.
And you look like you're on like a cooking show right now.
Oh, I'm like dying.
Already play it out, play it out. You're on a cooking show right now.
Well, I don't know. What do they do on cooking shows?
I don't know. Tell us about your ingredients.
Looks like some stainless, some nuts and bolts. That's about it, really. That's all I know. All the time.
No, I haven't seen that.
There we go. We have a sawmill. See, this is something like, I'm gonna look at the picture obviously, but I'm having fun not looking at the picture. All right, just realized I actually got the trailer package, so I believe the leveling fleet are not needed. So we're gonna skip step 1 and head right to step 2. See what happens, because that's the next step, right? We're doing step 2, assembling frame rail. These right here, right? Yeah. Install the joint pins in the first rail joint times 4. Now we just need to do this a lot more times until we have an actual sawmill. At least the bed frame that the sawmill will ride on. So let me give you a little history, a little backstory of what's going on here. We were invited last fall by Logosol all the way to Sweden. Sebastian and I both went, he's behind the camera. and we had a fantastic time. It was their 30th, yeah, it was their 30th year anniversary. They call it World Tour, I think they call it. They invited a bunch of people. There was like 100+ people there from all over Europe, as well as a few of us from North America. April Wilkerson also came. Again, we have some videos, so go check them out if you want to see the trip. And during that time, basically they educated us on the products that they offer. We actually met virtually every single person that works in the company. We saw every aspect of the company, assembling all these things, from the ordering and then the operation. We had a whole day where they demoed all their different tools. And the band mill was one of the ones that definitely piqued my interest, especially because the current one that I'm using, I don't trailer it. I switched it to an electric motor, so it's not really a portable sawmill anymore. Where this one, I got the trailer package, so the plan is that this one can be utilized to go get those logs that are hopefully relatively local to me. We can drive there, load the log right onto the sawmill. It's got a little log loading winch. It's gonna pull the log, boom, right onto the sawmill, and we'll be able to mill it right on site. So we hit it off, and now I'm a brand ambassador, I guess, for Logosol. So they did supply this sawmill. Thank you, Logosol. thank you very much. After a bit of negotiations, obviously. Tough negotiators, those Swedes. How's it going, Andy? You done yet? I'm gonna help Andy out now. He seems like he's struggling. You're not struggling. Cool, let's tighten some bolts. Can I talk? I do like doing this process that we actually have to put together the whole sawmill, because you're gonna understand every single part on the machine. That way, if for some reason down the line something is acting a bit funny or something's a little bit weird, you kind of have an eye to know how it's all gone together. So if something's amiss, you can spot it a little bit easier. Usually I have to buy something, break it, put it back together, and then I'll know that knowledge. So this is kind of cool that we actually have to bolt the whole thing together. I'm liking it. I did mean to do that. Okay, cool. So we got the two long rails assembled, and now we're gonna be putting the spacer, I don't know what they're called, spacer things. We're gonna call them spacer things. This is what the log sits on. And basically we have a long bolt that's gonna go in. We have a nut that we have to set to a certain 20 millimeters from the end, to be exact. The bolt goes through our side frame. With that nut, there's a hexagonal hole there, and that hexagonal hole actually holds the head of the bolt, and then you can tighten the nut onto this side here. And we just need to repeat that 1, 2, 3, a whole bunch of times. I don't know how many times. And I adjusted it the wrong way, so. Last two bolts of these assembly pieces here. Andy's going through, he's gonna tighten up all these bolts. We're gonna move on to the next step. Sawing a log. I know. I'm kidding. All right, by reading the actual manual, I figured out the name of those pieces. They're called the cross bunks, and we just finished putting those in. And this is all part of assembling the rail frame. Moving on to the next step in assembling the rail frame, it says installation of the inner end plates and bed end frames and the rail sections. All right, follow assembly instructions. Basically bolt on a bunch more pieces. So let's do that now. Oh, I'm super excited. Love taps. That was long. That's probably this one. This was a little off here. Oh, this is for the wide slabber. Little Easter egg coming soon. This will be the next video. We'll do the unboxing of the wide slabber. Be able to sawmill 84 inches with this bad boy, and it has an electric motor. Ooh, this one I'm super excited for. All right, we're portable. Hey Andy, toss me the tire. There we go. Like this. Right low. She's a low rider. Well, it'll look like that, I think. Something very close. Oh, there's like actually honeycomb in there.
No way.
Well, there's like comb. I don't think
Wow. That's so cool.
there's. See, not honey. There's just
No
the,
honey.
just the comb. So, got a little bit of work ahead of us. Another box of bolts. It's like Christmas. You get morning. You got to guess, right?
It's cool.
Holy moly. There's be a little bit of translation issues on that one, but it is the completing box for the trailer kit. I wish I had a completing manual. An axle. Is that clean and jerk? That one, right? There you go, bro. Ah! We only lost one team member on this build. Sadly, Andy was only with us for one day. All right, so we've been moving along. We did get a trailer kit package for this, so we had to stop kind of assembling what the main manual said, and we had to go through the trailer kit manual. And step one was attaching these, what looks like leveling feet probably. So when you get to the site location, I bet you this is gonna drop down, you can adjust it and level the sawmill. So we've just gone ahead, we started bolting those to the frame. Just a warm one. We put these in the wrong spot. First, I better keep my hand. All right, so we're back from lunch. We're continuing on with the trailer kit package. I learned something pretty weird to me and all these guys here. Not weird to Andy. He puts ketchup on his French toast.
Yeah. Normal.
Is that normal? Let us know. Yeah, basically this little end piece, which is the trailer package, is just like a 30-second off from, there's like teeth that have to fit together, and we're just trying to pull the frame a little bit more in so it lines up. Okay, cool, so we're about to bolt the axle to the actual sawmill. We're just confirming the bolts that we need. These are very important bolts. We're using locking nuts. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, because you don't.
Ooh, they're hot too.
Yeah.
Onto the saw head, which comes partially assembled. So says the manual. Basically, we're gonna sling this up with chains. We're gonna be able to drop it on the mill, and it tells us immediately to bolt on some parts. So basically it can't flip off and land on one of us. Okay, so we got the saw head on the mill, which is good. I was a little bit nervous, to say the least. Again, we're on uneven ground, and especially the Kubota, it kind of just matches the ground. But the telehandler is nicer that we have because we can actually balance the body and stay level to it. So we had the lead hand rigger, Andy here, taking care of it. Now we're gonna be attaching these plates. They're gonna have some wheels on here. This attaches to the saw head, and this makes it so that saw head cannot fall off of the track. So super important, we wanna get this done. And I think this will pretty much end off today. All right, this is gonna be end of day one of our Logosol B1001 unboxing. I think it was a successful day. It was very, very hot, so we went a little slower than we thought we'd go. But you know, it's better to cross your T's, dot your I's, triple check everything. There are lots of nuts and bolts. One loose nut right there. But I wanna say thanks to Andy, my brother-in-law, for the help. And let's see how she rolls. Woo! So we still have a lot to go. We've got to mount the motor. There's gonna be a drive motor. We still have to put the wheels on. We'll hook it up to my truck, and of course, we'll drop a log on it, make some sawdust. So that's super exciting. which will happen like in the next scene because it's gonna be one video. Make it a great one. It's not an outro. Cool. Hope you enjoyed part one, day one of the Logosol B1001 build. We're back today, just me. Of course, we got Sebastian behind the camera. And we're just gonna go to it. I think we got most of the heavy lifting done, so it's very helpful to have Andy here. Thank you, Andy, wherever you are. He's somewhere. He's still with us, don't worry. So we're gonna continue on. I'm gonna fix these leveling feet and we're gonna start attaching all the smaller trinkets to the sawmill, put the tires on the axle, and of course, attach the motor. And hopefully, if the sun gods shine down on us, but not too hot. Not too hot today. We'll be making sawdust in a bit later. In a bit later. A bit later. Yeah. Yeah, okay, cool. What do you got there? It's got cookies, folks. Do you want a water? Maybe you can bring in a glass of water in there. Can you, could you? Ooh, well played. Just bring those right here. Screw the water. Yeah, I think I need some help, folks. I'm gonna call in some reinforcements here. Good friend of mine, James. Sweet, nice. Yeah, do you mind staying? So top is this way. Marshmallowy, chocolatey, nice goodness. I'm a tire. Just installing the tire with some studs. Takes one to know one. Cool, this is exciting. Tires on. Now we're gonna continue on with the saw head and start attaching, I think, the push handle, as well as all the other bells and whistles, we'll call them. Be inserted in probably there. Gotta probably take these bolts out. Oh my God, imagine me doing it by myself. Oh my God, brutal. There we go. Okay, so we have the chain that's gonna control the up-down of the actual saw head. It is attached down with some tie straps. Looks like a bit of foam. And this chain looks like it's gonna have to travel probably over here. Yeah, it would appear that we should loosen that a bit. Maybe I can get that a little bit less tensioned. Let's detension the tensioner. Oh! I think it's spring loaded. She's maxed out. So from what I understand, one whole turn is an inch. So that would be an inch cut. Yeah. Oh, this will be for tension. This is for tension. This is to tension the blade. That's my theory. Yeah. So see. So this is gonna push against something in there, and it's gonna move this band wheel and tension it. That was probably the easiest piece to install, except for the already installed pieces. Got here, folks. We have a Briggs & Stratton. Any more information? It's the model 386477, packaged on 1919. I don't know how much power it is. It'll probably tell us right on the motor. 23 horsepower. All right, cool. It's just sitting there. Oh, this isn't so bad. We can go up there. Fancy. Muffler, exhaust ports. And then the instructions under the section, order of adjustments in the sawmill, user manual when the assembly is finished. Can we just like cut a log? I like the sawdust part of this build. Bucket wrench stuff for those two. Coming along. Oh, hello. I have 2 of 4 bolts in. Yeah, kind of. I need to hold this though there while. I can flip it around too. On this one, folks. In my head. Sure, we'll take this that way. Hardly working. Working smart. Safety hinge on. So this should be able to lift up and basically, ooh, click in there nicely. And then we can change the blade like this. You go like that, circle on there. Cut. Now we make sawdust. A few more parts though. A few more parts. Okay, what's next? Great. Help us. Okay, we're trying to attach the throttle handle. I literally just looked at the picture. Do you know how this goes?
Something like that.
Something like that? And then which one goes through this? The big one does?
Yep.
Okay, here you go. You take the part now. Through that. I didn't know that.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
Get me the drive belt. We need the drive belt because we're putting on the centrifugal clutch. We got the motor mounted, just loose. There's a bunch of spacers that went on. I got those already. I did have them perfectly lined up with the keyway. Okay, we're good. Centrifugal clutch is gonna go on, line it up with the keyway. Blammo, is that a thing? Key should hopefully slide in like, oh, I was off, folks. Okay. Oh, I'm so close. I swear, we just tried this and everything went very smoothly. There we go. Key is in. Got your bolt, has some thread lock on her, another spacer, another washer, and this is gonna bolt down tight to the motor. And we'll throw the drive belt on. Drive belt! This is the drive belt. Yeah, we're too tight. Hello, there we go. Oh, I see you saying because of this. Well, let's go the other way then. Hey, I wonder if I'm a dummy. That doesn't go on there. That goes up here. Maybe. Oh yeah, I got something figured out here. We don't need no manuals. I'm not good with pictures, so I'm very visual. Yeah. Okay, we got it. Drive belt is on. It goes spinny, spinny, spinny. Watch your fingers, folks. One thing I did learn about when the good folks at Logosol invited us over to Sweden, these drive wheels are actually designed also as a fan wheel. So this whole chamber is sealed up really nice. This fan actually will push all the sawdust this way. And it actually stays extremely clean on the inside, which is a big plus. My other sawmill definitely builds up tons of sawdust. It gets wet in there, it can rust very easily. So once we make some sawdust, we'll report back on the cleanliness of these fan wheels. Drive belts on. Whew, that's great. Let's do the next step. See? See? This. We need to take this off to access this and go like that. Thank you. Thank you. Release the screws on top of the valve cover. What I just discovered we need to do is that the motor is kind of like a stock motor that has its own throttle lever on the motor. We installed the throttle lever on the handle that we're going to be pushing the sawmill with so we can control it. So we actually have to remove the throttle lever and then hook up the new cable to control the throttle of the motor. It has actually laid out really, really nicely. It's just you need to kind of like read it and maybe go forward a little bit in the manual just to see exactly what you're doing, because it's broken down pretty step by step. So you're kind of like, well, what is this actually doing? And then you kind of understand a little bit. So let's cut some logs. Let's make some sawdust. Throttle, and then some ties. Okay. It doesn't clearly state technically where this kind of flows through. There's a little hole right there. I'm gonna use that because this is gonna come in over here. It looks like it's gonna give enough slack to go up and down. This will actually mount to the motor, but the cable has to go through it. And then I have to tighten this down a little bit. And now this will be the new throttle. Sawdust. No sawdust. Sawdust. No sawdust. Sawdust. No sawdust. Sawdust. No sawdust. Lunchtime. Throttle cable's in. Let's go eat. All right, we're back from lunch. We're hooking up the cable for that safety hinge on the door. I got the battery in a battery box and a strap that's gonna go around. So I'm gonna take that to the mill, bolt it down. And it's insanely hot today. It's like 34, 38 degrees Celsius, something like that. For us, very, very hot. Oh, the other one. We got some battery connections we need to do. Yeah, here, see? Oh, it's hot. It's gonna go to that ground screw there.
Okay, the one I already had on.
Yeah. All right, battery's in. James is tightening up the connections. Back to the instruction manual, here it is. Fortunately, we only have a couple pages left. Unfortunately, it's still just as hot as it was 5 minutes ago. Probably hotter. In fact, I think we're actually to the very end of the install for this manual, but we have one more manual, and that will be for the log loading kit, the fence, the clamp, and all that kind of stuff. So let's do it. Log handling B 1001, Logosol. Page 1, page 2, here we go. Starts on page 2, folks. Save you some time. I got a few parts here. Fix the XL log support holder to the existing cross bunk. Make sure that the log support holder is installed so that the square hole comes on the same side of the frame rail as the original log support. The needle nose right behind you, or the linesman's, either way. So both of these are actually part of the other. You got two of them? This is the tiniest cotter pin I've ever seen in my life. Damn it! My sense of direction is gone. The log ramps. Oh my god, we're getting there. Have I mentioned it's hot out? Although it's cooling off. It's cooling off now because we're working from dawn till dusk. Sweet. Done with this. Thank you. It's looking like a sawmill, folks. It's hot. Okay, we have a whole bunch of pieces. It looks like they go the length of the mill, and I think they help with this head itself from tipping a little bit, even though we already have some safety rails down here that will stop it from coming off. Now, we don't necessarily, oh yeah, this probably does go here, but. So a whole bunch more nuts and bolts. That's very not interesting to watch. So enjoy the footage. So we just realized if you have the log loading kit, you're gonna be changing the default plates that keep the sawmill on there to these shorter plates. And then there's a whole bunch more pieces that are gonna bolt to the side of the sawmill, that these safety wheels on the underside here, like a roller coaster. Underneath the rail is a bunch of wheels. It's gonna keep it from tipping. So let's change some parts. They pretty much thought of everything though, right? Like, it's really good. Doing anything? Woo, we're almost there. We are still hot. Still hot over here, everyone. Anyways, we're almost there. Just tying up loose ends. We got the winch cable to put on. We got a muffler to put on. We're going to get some oil. Got to get some gas in it. I just noticed there's what looks like an oil sensor that maybe should be plugged in. I don't know. There's no extra wire, so maybe not. But we're gonna make some sawdust. We are determined to make some sawdust. It rolls back and forth. It goes up and down. Voila! So they sent me some blades with the sawmill. Baco? How do you say that? Oh. We'll come over to the sawmill, we'll flip up the blade cover. It's gonna lock in with this little click up here, which is nice. And make sure everything's cutting the right direction. It isn't, looks like the blade needs to get flipped. So the teeth are actually cutting the wrong direction right now. So here, another little trick with the blade. It's best to have the teeth facing you. You hold it to the ground. These have a cover, so it's not so bad. But the teeth are gonna flick when it finally goes over. So basically, you start bending it this direction and you follow all the way down the blade. And then when you're about there, you can just kind of go like that.
That was such a great sound.
Yeah. So now the teeth are going the opposite direction. Ooh, she's sharp. Sweet. Okay, never put a blade on a Logosol, so we'll see how this goes. So that's that. We can get a little tension on the blade, James, please. Yeah, so we need some adjustment on that, clearly. Perfect, so the saw head came basically fully assembled, even with this blade guide, although there are instructions in the manual about attaching that all. It's definitely not straight. So, especially when you do things for the first time, you really want to look at everything, make sure, you know, the blade's not basically being jammed up, and then you turn your machine on and it's a disaster. Okay, we put a blade on, we noticed the blade guide was dipped down a little bit, we adjusted it pretty easily. Now the blade's tracking it, I believe, a little bit far back on the wheel. I'm gonna double check the instruction manual, but there's some pretty easy adjustments here on the wheel. And very shortly, we're gonna make some sawdust, folks. We have a log. There's a log. Yes, we have a log. We're gonna get it up. We're gonna try this winch system. And yeah, we're gonna make some sawdust. Then we're gonna really put it through the paces at some point. Who knows when? Soon though, so stay tuned. Subscribe now. Subscribe. Okay, I'm pulling this cable out. We're gonna go around the log and then back to the actual crane mechanism there. How much cable do I have? Still a lot? Okay, I'm gonna slow down. You wanna stop the handle? Oh yeah, we're gonna change this hook because bigger hook is better. Yes. I'm gonna put this a little bit wider. Okay, stop. We're gonna let the winch out. I need to move the cable a bit that way. Yeah, we'll try that and we'll see how we do. It's no problem to do. Yeah. Yeah, like for the amount of work that it's doing, it's nothing. Like if you're on site, you're going to the backyard where you don't have a forklift. Then.
Put the right fitting for that.
Yeah.
It's up in our...
You could just put a drill chuck would probably even screw down on that.
Yeah, can you get in there tighter? Good. That's exactly how it shows.
All right, so success. You saw how easy the winch brought the log up. We have it tight against the fence, locked down with the cam clamps. Now we can pop this pin out and then drop our winch down because that is clearly going to be in our way. Close our cover up. We have the blade on there. We spent a few minutes aligning it. Everything works good. I'm spinning it the wrong direction. It's got a couple catches, one in the center. I'm going to go around the other side, lock that side down. We also put oil in the motor. We have gas in there now. Battery's hooked up. It does have electric start, which is nice. So we're going to try that right now. Let's see what happens. First start. Runs. This is long awaited. A year and a half ago, we were invited to see Logosol in Sweden for the 30th anniversary world tour. We spent 3 or 4 days there. It was fantastic. We met the whole team, tried out all the products. They had this exact sawmill on demo, and I really liked it. So here she is. This is going to be the very first cut that we make with it, but there's going to be many, many more to come. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was kind of just a nuts and bolts video. Let's make some sawdust. So it's officially a success. The unboxing of the Logosol B1001, I already said it, is a success. We cut a few boards. It's been a very, very long day. So I'm throwing in the towel here. I'm not even gonna finish this log. I'm gonna enjoy my sleep tonight because I'm gonna have this in the morning to slice up and get her finished off. But so far, super impressed with it. It's very smooth to push. This is my first sawmill that's been manual to actually operate it. So it's kind of interesting that you can vary the speed very easily, obviously by how you're pushing. So if you come to a knot or a wider section. Being out in this beautiful countryside that we have, I really, really can't complain. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And we are gonna put this sawmill through its paces. We have a lot of logs lined up for this. We're gonna take this on location. It's on a trailer. We'll be able to hook it to the truck, head into Toronto, get into somebody's backyard, and make lumber out of a log that's normally going to be chipped up, cut into firewood, making it feel even better getting to deal with these old trees that would go to waste. So if you're thinking about getting this sawmill, I hope this video helps you out a little bit in what you're in for in putting it together, and a little bit of the quality of the machine. I can say I'm happy. I'm very, very happy so far. So I'm super excited to get this hooked up to my truck, pull it into the big city and slice up some lumber. And keep in mind, we're gonna follow up some reviews. 6 months, year down the road, we're really gonna put this thing through its paces. So we're gonna give you the honest opinion on how the sawmill does. And I wanna be honest with you guys, Logosol gave me this sawmill. Thank you, Logosol. That's pretty sweet, but you know what? The reason they gave it to somebody like me is because I'm gonna be honest, I am gonna beat the crap out of it, and you're gonna find out not only the good things about the sawmill, but also the not so good things. So stay tuned, please subscribe, smash that like button if you've enjoyed the video. Any questions about the sawmill, any requests on what you want to see me sawmill, please leave it below in the comments. Did we mention it's hot out? So until next time, everyone, make it a great one. Make it a great one, sawmill. Great one.